about this entire Russell Wilson situation. It came out a little while ago that he apparently was like, he told his agent came out and was like, Russell Wilson doesn't really want to be traded, but if he happens to be traded, he would either like to go to the Cowboys, the Saints, the Raiders, or the Chicago Bears. And so with that, coming out within the past couple weeks, I was thinking, what would happen if he ends up going to the Chicago Bears? What would it mean for the Packers? Should the Packers be worried if Russell Wilson comes on over here to the NFC North? Golly, I'm feeling a little jittery right now. Do any of you guys ever wake up and you eat something that's like sugary and you know you shouldn't, just because it's not good for you, but you want it? Like this morning I saw a donut that I had from the other day, and I was thinking to myself, should I eat this donut? I decided to eat the donut. I just feel like a little jittery and I'm like a little shaky, and so right now that's sort of how I'm feeling. Do you guys notice that this picture is like crooked a little bit? Let me try to fix it real fast. Oh no. Is that better, guys? Or is that worse? That might be worse. Is that better? I can't tell. For some reason, it looks crooked on this camera, but back there, it looks straight. But if you guys are new to the channel, I put up Packers content almost every single day, news analysis, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see that, feel free to subscribe. You just gotta click the button down below and, turn on those notifications. It really helps out for you personally. If you want to get the videos quicker, it just gets zoomed right to your phone. Zoomed? Okay, so first off with this situation, we know Russell Wilson's unhappy. Partly, it seems that he doesn't like being sacked, which is honestly, I'm pretty shocked about that. He doesn't like to be sacked. So Russell Wilson has been sacked 394 times in 144 games, and that's the most for a quarterback to be sacked in his first 9 seasons since the NFL-AFL merger. So it makes sense that he comes out, he's sort of unhappy with the situation that's going on there in Seattle, and maybe his intention is just to come out and sort of force the Seahawks to basically listen to him and to allow them to make moves that maybe would make Russell Wilson more happy. And I feel like he's earned that, considering he's pretty much the face of their franchise now. He's been in the league for like 9 or 10 years now. And I definitely think Russell Wilson should have some say when it comes to that Seahawks team. And so it makes sense that he's coming out and basically like, well, I'm going to basically force the Seahawks to either, help with the demands that I sort of want, sort of the positions I want to get better on this team, or I can end up going to another team that basically fits my situation better, that I think I could basically be happier in. So the Bears are one of those teams. And it came out the other day on the Chicago Tribune. They wrote this: the thinking among multiple sources is the Bears have prioritized making a run at Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. So whatever that means, the thinking among multiple sources, that's what they're thinking. Who knows why they're thinking this? Maybe there's a legit reason. Maybe they're just saying this to, get some clicks. But anyways, if Russell Wilson were to end up on the Chicago Bears, what would that look like? Obviously, if you're a Bears fan, I think that you'd obviously be cheering for this kind of move to happen. The Bears haven't had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards in I think 100 years, so pretty much never. And to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson, who already has, 4,000 yard seasons under his belt, to bring in a quarterback of his caliber to the Chicago Bears, I think it would completely change this franchise and immediately put them in contention in the playoffs in the NFC North. And so obviously as Packers fans, it's sort of nice having teams like the Bears where they're not amazing. They're 8-8 last year. They're okay at times, and obviously the Packers and Bears have their competitive matchups. But right now, as it stands, the Packers are head and shoulders above every team in the NFC North. And if the Bears were to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson, I think immediately they will be competing with the Green Bay Packers. And first off, if you're a Packers fan, you might be thinking, okay, well, we don't want Russell Wilson to the Bears because obviously it makes the Bears that much better. It makes them a little bit more competitive than they have been in the past with guys like Mitch Trubisky, and Nick Foles. But as a football fan, honestly, I would love to see Russell Wilson come to the Bears, just because, can you imagine, twice a year, NFC North battle, Packers, Bears, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, that would be exciting to see. And it'd sort of be fun for the Packers to have some more competition when it comes to the NFC North with Russell Wilson coming to that team. And if we take a look at the Bears last season, sort of their quarterback situation, I'm sharing my screen now. I should be, at least. So Nick Foles started 7 games. Mitch Trubisky starts 9 games. Nick Foles throws for 64.7% completion percentage, 1,852 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Not great. Mitch Trubisky, on the other hand, 67% completion percentage, a little better. 2,055 yards, 16 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, so a little bit better than Foles. And if we take a look at basically where they rank when it comes to their QB rating over here on teamrankings.com, of course, got Aaron Rodgers at the top because, he is the most talented quarterback in the NFL. I stand by that. But Mitch Trubisky, 19th in the NFL at 93.8 passer rating, and then Nick Foles is even farther down, 29th with an 80.8 passer rating. So if the Bears could come in and land a guy like Russell Wilson, immediately, where's Russell Wilson on this rankings? Where is he? He's 7th. So immediately you got a top 10 quarterback. I'd say he's probably like maybe even top 5 if he gets to a better situation. Immediately, if you're the Bears, you're put into playoff contention. Your team's that much better. You're very competitive. Because for your team to make it to the Super Bowl, I think it's pretty obvious now that you need to have an elite quarterback. And Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles definitely are not elite quarterbacks. And so to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson, you're immediately going to be a competitive team. And the fact that the Bears last year were 8-8 with Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles, I'm guessing if Russell Wilson were to come in, that probably gives him, 2 more wins, 3 more wins, 4 more wins to have a guy like Russell Wilson up there. So I think the Bears immediately are a playoff team, most likely. I still think the Packers could, win NFC North because we got Aaron Rodgers. The Packers, I think, would be much better than the Bears anyways. But the Bears probably become one of the top 10 teams in the NFL. I think that they will probably make the playoffs. Maybe be a wild card team if they don't, beat off the Packers for the number 1 seed or the number 1 spot in the NFC North. Their defense was 13th ranked defense, 23 points allowed per game. As you can see, they're like a little bit better than the Packers. The Packers were 15th when it came to points allowed per game. So their defense is maybe in the top half of the NFL. And then if we take a look at their offense, they just, weren't great with that quarterback play they had going on there. They were the 23rd ranked offense, averaging 22.4 points per game. So I say you bring in a guy like Russell Wilson, you're immediately probably, I say you'd be a top 10 scoring offense, and I think that immediately brings you to like 10 wins at least, depending on if they keep Allen Robinson, because Allen Robinson is going to be a free agent. I think it's definitely important for the Bears to keep him, especially if you're bringing in a guy like Russell Wilson, and then to potentially maybe draft some more weapons for Russell Wilson, and that team could definitely be dangerous. Because with Allen Robinson so far, he's been a beast with pretty mediocre quarterback play, so to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson, who's probably one of the top 5, top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, Allen Robinson, I think, will have an insane season if he is paired up with Russell Wilson. But overall, my thoughts on this situation, I would love to see Russell Wilson go to the Bears. Yes, I'm a Packers fan. Yes, that makes the Bears that much better. But I don't think, we should be hoping that the Bears and every other team in the NFC North is just terrible. I think it's better for the Packers to have competition, to be able to face a guy like Russell Wilson twice a year. That would be exciting for the Packers. I think those games would just be that much more exciting to watch as Packers fans and as NFL fans in general. And immediately, as I was saying, the Bears become a much better team. They get rocketed up with a guy like Russell Wilson. So I would think the Bears would come in and do their best to make a move on Russell Wilson. Who knows if he will actually go to another team. Maybe him and Pete Carroll can, fix things up, and he could end up staying there in Seattle. You're not going to get to the Super Bowl with a guy like Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles as your quarterback, and so I think the Bears would, probably be working their hardest to make a move for a guy like Russell Wilson if they possibly can. But those are my thoughts on the situation. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Whether you're a Bears fan that somehow found this video or you're a Packers fan, let me know, what do you think about Russell Wilson potentially coming to the Chicago Bears? But if you guys enjoyed today's video, it'd be awesome if you guys could like it down below. And if you want to see more Packers content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. But thank you guys so much for watching, as always, and I'll see you guys on the next one.